GPDers, welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome to another edition of Now or Never, the channel where we're going to help you figure out how to become a race car driver. I'm coming to you with my 2015 Mustang GT S550, where we're going to convert this to a race car, amateur level style car, and we're very excited at this moment because we are going to complete phase one. So as we work through phase one of the things I want to highlight for all of you is all the wonderful things we've got for phase one. I have three phases that I'm working on for this race car build. Phase one is focused on the outside, the exterior of the car. We're trying to figure out where we need to make improvements within the rules and regulations of our particular race series that we're going to participate in. Phase two is the interior, all the stuff we need to do safety-wise on the inside, and also to help let go of some of the weight that this car inherently has in it as a stock car. And phase three, for me, it will be the brake system, the setup of the brakes. That's a very expensive setup. As fast as you want to go is as fast as you want to stop. So those are the three phases that we want to focus on. So here we go. All right, so we want to talk about phase one, and one of the things that we're looking at is everything from the front of the car to the back of the car, things we need to modify. So with the stock GT, it comes with this front spoiler here. You can add a chin splitter to it. We may do that. It comes with these 19-inch wheels with Pirelli P0s. We may change that out. I bought this car used. The previous owner thought these look cool. They suck. I can take these off. I'm definitely taking these off. The rules don't allow for it anyway. You can't add a body panel on the outside here that's going to divert extra air toward anything. Although these aren't even cut all the way through anyway, they're just fake. But those are coming off. Back here in the back, we can add a wing. That's allowed in the rules. We can do that. The suspension's always been a problem in this car. I think we can improve that. The exhaust system, that can be modified to give us more power if we're going to modify that. We can add a better intake system. I think we can do that as well. We can replace this. We can touch the hood. We can definitely change out the hood. And we can change these out even. So I think we may do that. We can add a little color to the car. I think we're okay with that as far as racing rules are concerned. Brake lights, there's no rules around that as long as we have working brake lights. So I think we're going to modify that. Let's see what else we're going to do to this car on the outside. I think that's it. I think those are the kind of things we're looking at here. So you've probably been wondering what the blue tape around the car was for. Well, I think you can kind of imagine what we're trying to do here. What I wanted to do is to visually show how all of my phase one stuff I plan on laying out. And so what I've done is I've just moved the car out of the way. I've shown the tires where they're going to be, and then I'm going to place each of the items where they're going to go. Again, phase one is for the exterior of the car. So we're just focusing on improving the car on the outside to meet race regulations, to optimize the pluses that the car has, try to get rid of the minuses that the car also has, and do it in a thoughtful way to where we are only taking items in and out once. So I've worked very hard here the past few months in collecting all of the exterior items that I think are necessary for this car. So we all have them in together in-house, and they're ready to go in the car. So let's see what we got. So what do you think? stuff plan on putting on this car. Phase 1. This isn't everything. There's some smaller stuff I still plan on doing. It's in the house, but for the most part, these are all the items that I plan on putting on the car to improve it, to make it race ready. And as I stated in an earlier video, how much my overall budget was for what I was investing in the car. That cost did not include the car itself. That's outside that. But this is about half the budget. Half the budget will be spent on improving the exterior outside of the brakes. And so I'm going to take you through a tour of these items, and we'll dig a little deeper so you can see exactly what we've got here. And again, you know, I'm racing within the Touring 1 category with SCCA. So my particular race class has its own set of rules, and I have to follow those regulations. And so, you know, you may be deciding to go with a different organization, amateur organization to race with. You know, whatever happens to suit the taste of you, your budget, the car that you want to race, and so forth. I happen to choose this one because I thought this one best fit the goals that I had. So let's get to it. All right, everyone. So let's take a tour of the items that I have picked out for my car. So let's start with the front. I think that logically makes sense. So, you know, you got to have a toe, have one in the front and one in the back. So I've got one of those. Then we've got next to here, we've got a couple of oil separators here. So we've got one for the passenger side that hooks directly into the factory connections off the engine, and then one here on the driver's side. I've also got, as I mentioned before, you know, you can modify the hood, and you can actually even replace the hood. And so I think right now, as a smaller step before I actually replace the hood, I'm going to add larger exhaust vents off the top of my existing hood to help evacuate some of that hot air. What we've got here is a cold air intake box, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it here with some heat shielding. So I'm going to make sure that air is as cold as possible coming into my car. Then here's a K-member port brace. This is allowed. Adding that. And then as we are adding a new header system, because I already have, as I mentioned before, I already have a 3-inch Borla Attack cat back exhaust system on the car, and so now I want to make it fully all the way to the header. So I got a Stainless Works exhaust system. It's actually 2-inch tubes back to a 3-inch, and whenever you do that, you know, you're going to add more heat to the car again. So I got some heat shielding wrap for that as well. So I got heat shielding wrap for my cold air intake box, and I got heat shielding wrap for my exhaust system. And when you're doing that, you know, again, we want to be within regulations. You know, if you happen to drive this car on the street, you need to have catalytic converters. So I've added these 3-inch catalytic converters as well. We'll make sure are on the car. You see this long box here, this blue box. You know, when you're racing, you need to see everything, especially what's going on behind you. So this is a 5-panel. I call it a panoramic rear view mirror. But basically allows you to see fully across the whole back of your car while you're out there racing. Got here some of the goodies, some of the fun stuff here. We've got some vinyl stripes we're going to be adding to the car here. I've got, remember I mentioned this before, where I had trouble trying to find where to jack the car from. These are going to help me identify the best areas to jack the car from. It'll be very obvious, bright red. I'll be able to see it underneath the car and put my jack right there. Go down further here. Here's some suspension pieces that I'm adding. These are the sway bars that I'm adding right here. Here are some other suspension pieces. This is another suspension box pieces there. To these wheels. So I've got 4 new wheels and tires, as you can see. And no, these are not the same wheels that come on the car. These are new wheels. Yes, they look similar, but they're totally different. They're much lighter as well. This wheel tire combo is extremely light compared to what comes stock on your car. So you want to manage that unsprung weight that you have. And then we come back here to the back. We've got some pretty cool items to add to the car. So here's the race wing. I'm very excited about adding that. That we'll be adding to the car. We got some new cool brake lights that we're adding to the car. Here's the tow hook again for towing the car. That's required in the rear of the car. That is all the items I plan on adding to this car on the exterior. Again, outside the brake system. The brakes will come later. That will be phase 3. The brakes I plan on getting, that will cost quite a bit, so that will be phase 3. But before I start racing. But this is about half of the overall costs that I'll be taking on in converting my Mustang into an unbelievable racer. Now, of course, this doesn't include all the ups and downs of racing. I'm sure something will break. I'm sure I'll need repairs. I'm sure I'm going to need alignments. I'm sure I'm going to need this or that while we go along the process here. But I'm very excited. I can't believe I'm finally to this point. Just looking at these items get me excited. I hope they get you excited as well. And again, with proper planning and a lot of research, you can get to this point comfortably. I'm very confident in our ability to get this car done and to do it within the regulations and to make sure that we do it as safe as possible as well. So we want to manage the risk. Let's talk about that on one of the other videos as well, managing risk. So, but the number one risk that you're going to have at stake is fun. Don't ever forget that one. You're going to have risk of having so much fun that this will all be worth it. And that's what I plan on being able to enjoy the most. I'm more focused on the process. And I saw that there was not enough videos taking you from the very beginning steps to the finish end on the process of turning any vehicle. You know, this happens to be a Mustang GT, but it's going to be the same process if you had a Camaro, same process if you had a Challenger, you know. Same process if you had a Corvette, turning your particular car into a race car. So I hope you're enjoying these videos. I'm certainly happy to share them with you, share the insights of what I'm doing here. I'm not fearful of comments that you may make about these add-ons. I appreciate any comments that you have. I would love for you to subscribe to our channel because there's going to be plenty of more videos coming your way. So with that, have fun, and remember, it's all worth it because it's now or never.